Welcome to First Things First. I'm Brooke Blurton. My pronouns are she and her.
I'm Matty Mills. My pronouns are he and him. And before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge the custodians of the land on which we record. And for me, it's the Gadigal People of the Eora Nation.
And for me, it's the Eora People of the Cooler Nation. Let's get into it. Well, we've got a special guest on today, which is exciting. I love when Mobbering, like, of course he does.
Yeah, these ones.
Yes. He's a huge Beyonce Destiny Child's fan, as you can tell. We've got Kirby Bentley in studio today.
Kaya Mob.
Yes. Who's your mob? Where you from?
Nyungar Yamaji from Western Australia. I grew up in cracker country. It's renowned as cracker country in Mount Barker. So country girl through and through.
Cracker country. Okay, is this because there's a lot of white people?
That's funny, but
No.
no. So North Melbourne, the Cracker Brothers.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get cancelled.
We can change it.
So if you don't know Kirby, which baffles me because I grew up having you majority of my life from when I was a little girl. Came from Carnarvon, moved to Perth. She's an AFLW footballer, or is still playing, right?
Oh, God, no. I'm
coaching.
well and truly retired.
Yeah.
Yes. Commentating at the moment, but yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We didn't talk about that.
Brooke sees you in 20 years. You're still playing, right?
Yeah. In my Zimmer frame.
In my mind, I'm still playing. I don't know. Do you sometimes feel like that as well? Like, I guess when you watch games, you're like, am I still... Yeah, I'm still playing mentally. I'm like, what the fuck they doing? No, but you were also on Survivor. I mean, tell the people, I guess, your progression of where you're from, obviously, but then also what you've done, because you've done a lot, girl.
Yeah. So being a country girl, we grew up in white Australia, black Australia. There were no other ethnicities. So for me, the American accent was just the movies. Like, I was pretty naive, right? So I grew up around racism. I started to hear it and experience it from both sides too. And it's uncomfortable because you start to think about, well, who am I and where do I sort of sit with that? And I was very lucky that both parents are Aboriginal, both the Nyungar Yamaji, and they are proud of who they are. So they instilled some really good, strong values, and I was so grateful for that. But my fast track journey, I started playing National League netball. I played netball when I was 14, made my first state team when I was 14 in state under-17s, and then ended up making my National League netball team, Perth Orioles, which is now West Coast Fever, when I was 16. So I was year 11, 12 doing that.
Crazy.
All Australian throughout my entire netball career. And then 2009, my mum's sister was taken from us, domestic violence, and that sort of shifted everything in my life. And Ashley, my middle sister, was playing AFL, and I wanted to step into her world and get to know her. So that's when my footy journey started. So almost repeated the same thing in AFL, played every highest level team, all Australian, captain most sides as well. Yeah. So I was pretty lucky.
Yeah. Kirby is a humble queen, but she doesn't realise how much of an impact she has had in AFL. I played in this cup called the Kirby Bentley Cup, which a lot of the young Indigenous girls come through, and that's where sort of their footy careers first kind of, like, they get to play a part of a team and they play a carnival. And I think that for me was like a huge thing of like, wow, there's so many girls that play footy. And having Kirby's name is like, oh my God, she's like a celebrity, like, and I was like, I don't know, 13, 14, 15.
Yeah,
I was tiny. Yeah. And I've idolized you from pretty much day dot. And football for me, and I feel like this is thanks to the people that shaped my football career, but also it shaped my life. And I think, like, people don't realize how much football does for people in community, and just any sport, because, like, I don't know if it's a mob thing, but, like, it brings us all together, and we, like, really love our footy, but we don't just love it just for the actual sport itself. We love the sport, what it brings. Yeah. I think for you, like, I don't know, it was just having a strong black female football role model that I was like, I want to be like her. Like, I just want to be playing good footy. I want to be respected like you. And I also loved how hands-on you were with all the Indigenous girls as well. And you called shit out.
I appreciate that. And I didn't know that that's the impact that I have and had on people, because I want our women and our young girls to be whoever they want to be. And I'm comfortable with who I am. Like, I will always call somebody out or ask a question that is uncomfortable, that sounds silly, especially at training. I'd be like, oh, what do you mean when you're saying this? Like, even if I know the answer, I know that somebody doesn't. And I don't want to be, that know-it-all, but I need to empower others to be able to be in that place. But I am grateful that I have had that sort of impact on you, and you're doing that now, and I love that. And I love seeing our queens and our kings like drive those changes, because that is all of who I am.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I love that. I appreciate that.
Can I ask you, like, when you get to a certain level, you're obviously at the top level of your field, like you've ticked it all off. Does it feel like you think it's going to feel? Because for me, I feel like even the little things that I've achieved in my career and their success, I feel like it never feels how you think it's going to feel. Is that the same for you?
What I've found in both netball and football, even if I was actually the best player, I was always brought down a notch for some reason, and I wasn't the accolades sort of didn't meet where I was at, and that's fine. Like, that's so cool. But I've started to realise that not everyone wants you to excel, and I played the game because I love it. I played both games because I love it, and I always talk about walking in three worlds. So we live in the white world, and it's so prominent, right? I know that I'm black, and I'm so proud to be that, but in a sporting arena I can be both, because I'm good at sport and my white counterparts need me to be a part of that team, so I can mix in that space. But yeah, it's interesting. I've always been driven to be the best I can be, not to be the best out of everyone. I don't know what that is.
I would say Kirby is one of the most elite AFLW players. Like, she played in all of these state matches, the exhibition, when AFLW didn't even fucking exist. And she was the one that drove the comp. And that's a lot to carry on your back, by the way. That's a lot. Like, that is massive. Like, Kirby's name was getting thrown out here, there, and everywhere when I was younger. Like, and it's only ever, and it's still, like, to this day. But, like, I feel like there was always this, like, you were at the top of your game and you were playing, but you still weren't, like, you're the best in my eyes, but there was always, like, a focus or, like, an elevation of other players that were non-Indigenous. And it just fucking drove me mad, because I'm like, this woman has a fucking cup named after her, for fuck's sake. I think all of our Indigenous girls that play AFLW, huge talent. I think you put any of these Indigenous girls on a field, they'll show up every day. Yeah. And that's what I love about our sport. Like, we are creative, we are talented, we actually work hard, but because we make things look effortless, the stereotypical, like, opinion of us is that it's just natural. That we don't work hard for it.
Like, a lot of the work that I did was behind the scenes. Like, I worked my ass off to be the most skillful player, and I was clean, and everything that I did was perfected.
They used to literally say Kirby magic, black magic.
Wow. But it was so fun, and that's what our girls do, and that's what I love. That's what I love with the Kirby Bentley Cup, and I really don't understand why the AFL and the AFLW and even Eagles and Fremantle don't go down and scout talent. I don't understand why they don't do that, because yes, the Irish girls, they come and they bring something else, but this is our game. Like, we know how to play this.
Grook. Yeah. That's what AFL came from. Grook. Like, do your work, do your history. It's not Gaelic.
I want to ask you, because you said, you're not afraid to speak up, and you're somebody who will, who will educate, and not in a way that's like, I know everything, but maybe ask someone a question to explain something. Was that always your approach, even when you were younger, starting out in the game? Were you always someone who would, share, that side of yourself, or was it pressure to keep that sort of under wraps?
I think as I've gotten older, and it might sound a little bit manipulative, which sort of ties into maybe Survivor, but I always stay true to who I am. And the way I've worked in male-dominated industries, I have a shot firing background. I worked in mining 7 years, came across the construction, so I've been surrounded by men. but I need them to feel like they're in control all the time. And the way that I would do that is, I love what you do. You're amazing at your job. Can you please mentor me, help me? So then that takes away the fear of me being intimidating or a threat for them feeling in control and in power, that they think that they're helping me. Even though I might know what I'm doing, I'm giving them the opportunity.
You
100%.
You stroke their ego,
100%. And that's what I've learned to do.
Can't beat them, join them.
Yeah. But it's all temporary. And all I need is for them not to feel threatened. That's
Totally.
it. And once they don't feel threatened, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Let's go across to Survivor now that you've sort of placed us in that manipulative headspace. But it's, you know what, it's powerful. It's a strategy that, you know, that you've used to obviously get to where you're at, and you've obviously tested the waters and it works. But in terms of Survivor versus AFL and that corporate space of white men CEOs, what was harder, like playing the system of AFL or playing the players of Survivor?
Well, at least in Survivor, you sort of know what you're getting, so you're sort of expecting it. So we're all, you know, that is a very different ball game. But the world of AFL is political, and the decisions are made. It's who you know in that space. So it doesn't matter how good your ideas are or what that looks like or how good even you are. If somebody else is putting somebody else's name forward and they've got a contact in there, like it drives that. So I don't think that the best is always chosen in that space. And it's hard to manipulate when you don't know what else is being said because you don't know who else has been talked to.
I spoke to someone yesterday about the AFL, and they described it as like basically an old wooden ship, that it's stiff. It takes a lot of moving parts to get it going. And a
flood could take
and
it
then
out.
we're talking about the sport they're involved in, which is like the NBL, where it's like a jet ski. It's like zip, zip, zip. We're doing things fast.
Yeah.
I would love for the AFL to be like a jet ski per se, to get shit done. And I think, but I know because how long it's been going for, that it is like a wooden old ship. It's like
stale.
And it's run by people that have been in those positions for a very long time, which is stereotypically like, and I don't mean this by any disrespect, but white old men.
Yep.
And
They
they
hold
don't
the
know the
keys.
progression of the game and how fast it can be going and is and growing, because they're not up to date with it. They're up here in the clouds and they're not on the ground doing the grassroots. They don't know what's happening in the grassroots programs. You know what I mean? And I think like for me, like I want the game to be like evolving. I feel like you're right. Like Survivor, you know what you're getting, and you know because you're condensed and you're like put into like on an island and you have to, you know what you're doing and you know the objective to win. But then, the AFL system is like just this moving old ship that's taken forever to take one thing to happen. And I think also, I don't know, I feel like, they can promote like the Indigenous round and the evolution of like, diversity and inclusion. But I feel like there's some part of me that's still like, they're just ticking boxes.
Oh, well,
do you feel the same? Like
100%. Like you look at the Silly Sunday or whatever they did the other day, like
Mad Monday.
The Mad Monday, right? So if we're looking at respecting of women, inclusion, all of that, we've got sisters and brothers, the same amount of teams playing in this, and then we've got our brothers dressing up as a convicted rapist and taking this blow up toy to a Mad Monday. That just
Why
speaks
do you think that's
volumes. 100%. It speaks volumes to the disrespect and the culture that we're allowing in the AFL.
Exactly.
I think if anyone disrespects women or has any sort of charges or anything towards derogatory towards women, their contract should be terminated.
And they shouldn't play again.
They shouldn't play again. They should never be paid to play at that level, because what it does is allows it to be accepted and allows our young boys and young girls to say, well, they can do it. They're a role model. They're still playing and they're still getting paid to do this. And their female teammates are expected to just accept it and to sort of keep tight-lipped. And I know how the AFL clubs sort of work. They don't want that negative media. At the same time, don't disrespect your female teammates. Like, don't be that.
Yeah. Who allowed that? That's the thing. Yeah. And also, why is the coach not like stepping up and being like, bro, that's not it.
Yeah,
that
club
ain't
leaders.
It. You would never.
I would.
You would
oh
never.
My God.
But anyways,
Yeah.
talking about Survivor. Go back to Survivor.
I think that I just want to say something. I think that in the culture of football, you look at when it comes to First Nations discrimination and racism, it takes a few people from the boys' club to speak up and say that we're not going to accept this, you know. And I think that the men need to take accountability, and if their teammates are doing these fucked up things, they need to step up and they need to say, mate, and speak out against them. But, you know, it's that boys' club mentality. It is that misogynistic culture that is so ingrained in them from these, you know, institutions like the AFL that they feel it's actually acceptable.
They should be fined. They should be fined a lot of money. They should be on probation. They shouldn't be allowed to play, but whatever.
And they should apologise.
And they should apologise.
Terminated.
And they also, that money that they get fined, that should be going back into programs that are fighting, you know.
Yeah. So where are the brothers? Like, stand up if you see something, you know, say something. I know it's like putting a neck out on the line, but it's about creating change. And if, you know, if the people, the powers that be aren't going to do it, you're going to have to do it as teammates. Like,
exactly.
They need to stand up.
Surely.
Well, speaking of cowards, let's go to Survivor.
Well, I guess, okay, no, back to Survivor. But, like, you know, we're talking about this stuff, and there's also a hint of, like, politics in it, right? And you would never think, like, AFL sport, why does it have to be political? Like, you know, we're playing a sport, but because at that level, yes, it does get a lot of money, a lot of sponsorship, a lot of politics. But innately as well, I feel like as blackfellas, we talk about this a lot. We are political. We do, you know, we have to be because we have to care. We do care, and because of colonization, when you're going into a game like Survivor, is it political? Like, do you feel like it's like a hierarchy, and it's like, talk about the game with us?
The game is really organic. Like, it's not produced.
Yeah.
So we go out and we play, and we literally, what you see is what you get.
Nice.
So there's no producer saying to you should do this?
No.
Wow.
No.
Interesting.
I love that because it allows you to be creative, to know people and work people. And that's the whole reason why I sort of applied, because I was at a stage in my life where I'd gone through a breakup. I had fallen into a bit of depression. So it's not just from the breakup, but being over here, being by myself as well.
Away from home, away from country.
Yeah. And I just felt really alone, and I started to get out of that. And then once I applied, I've never watched it. I've only ever watched our season.
Wow.
See?
Okay.
So I had no idea what
research.
I've been watching every country Survivor.
Same. How these motherfuckers get through this? I don't know.
I wouldn't be good because I can't, like, hold a lie in, you know? Like,
Well, I didn't lie.
You didn't lie? Okay.
No, so the way that I did it was I would tell someone I was working with, say I was working with Brooke, for example, I'm like, oh, you tell Ferris or you tell Rachael that we're actually going to write this person's name down, but that's a lie. So then I would get Brooke's tell on how she would lie. So when she would lie to me, I would see what she's doing.
Oh.
So I would just avoid that.
Okay.
That's so good.
So I want to know how
tricky.
Brooke lies, which is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
There you go.
How do I lie? How do I lie? I find like I can't really lie, but if I am lying to protect someone, I will.
Yes.
I can.
It's very different, isn't it?
It is very different. If it's to protect someone else and it's to take care of them because I care about them, I can do it.
Yeah.
But if it's to lie because I'm protecting myself, fuck, I'm done. Like, it's like, you know, it's a bit uncomfortable, but I feel like it's such a survival thing too. Like, meaning, like, and not to use the pun, like, you know, I feel like in my younger years in high school, sometimes I had to lie, you know, I had to lie to the department to protect my mum. I had to lie to school teachers to protect my brothers, you know, and that
lying
happens.
To friends at school saying, they're like, what does your dad do? My dad didn't work, you know, stick picker on a farm. And I was like, he's a detective.
Oh my God, yeah. And you'd lie to...
Big noter. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this. And then he got caught.
And then he came to school and they were like, your dad's really a detective? I was like, yes.
Undercover.
Yes.
So good. And okay, so you've just gone to Worlds. So you've just come back.
Yeah.
How do you also... Can I ask a dumb question? No question is a dumb question. What do you eat? Like, 'cause I've been asked to do Survivor, but I have also rejected it many a times because I just don't think that I could starve myself.
Well, technically you don't starve yourself, and they'll never let that happen, right?
Perfect.
But they give you enough
Sign me up.
rations. Sign me up. They give you enough rations to feed your tribe. So there's 14 on a tribe. There's rice and there's beans. And our first 3 days, it rained. We had no shelter, which meant that we were wet. There was no wood to light fires, which means we didn't eat. So you can't cook food with wet wood, right? So it's on you, whether you cook it, whether you eat it, whether you don't. And there's coconuts, like you can eat. You're obviously really hungry and you smell so bad. Not today, you know, you smell amazing.
Yeah.
So there's no like coming in with the quick fix and the producers going, all right, we've got a little gas stove. You want to cook your beans and rice?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not.
Rude.
No. So whatever. So
What
we
about
have
shaving? Can you shave?
No, you can't brush your teeth. You can't shave. There's no soap. If you lose your clothes, you lose your clothes. That's all you have.
Maddie won't last.
Yeah.
So we take
that.
7 items or 9 items, and if you lose them, like one of our contestants threw another contestant's clothes out. So that's all she had. So she was
As
missing.
a strategic, like...
I don't know if they liked each other that much.
Oh,
So
got you.
yeah, she ended up throwing it out, and Kelly.
You can drop names. We don't care.
Yeah.
We'll beep it out if you need.
She's like, Bub, I can't find my clothes anywhere, and I think someone's thrown them out. And I was like, I think someone's thrown them out as well. And we're freezing our arse off too. So she's standing in like her bather bottoms and Raymond's t-shirt. So that's all the clothes. So once they're gone, they don't get replaced. Nothing gets replaced. I burnt socks by accident. They didn't get replaced, and it gets cold. But
Yeah.
I recommend
My
playing it though.
Yeah.
In terms of the crew, so bird's eye view, there's a camp. And then is there like producers and TV directors and everyone around?
Like a set. You know how like a set? Yeah.
There's a camera with a producer. Like obviously because that's how they catch us,
Yeah.
catch the filming, and we're not allowed to talk without a camera. Otherwise, the game isn't played right.
Okay.
Because they don't get to pick up on any conversations that might have been had that results in somebody leaving, for example.
Yeah.
So no camera, no talking. As simple
How
as
many
that.
cameras? 2?
Oh, it could be up to like 6, 7.
Oh, so quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting
Yeah.
everyone's conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
wow.
Yeah.
in terms of the idols, are they like strategically placed and you can see them putting them there? Or like,
No, absolutely not. Because I'm a tracker and I could not find one. I
Okay.
looked and I needed one.
Yeah.
I needed 5 of them.
yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't find them anywhere to save myself. So
Wow.
I was just relying on my gameplay and my manipulation.
Yeah.
And people lying for me.
You went far. Like you went
Yeah.
top 5.
Yep.
Yeah. And then who got you out?
I was very lucky. I managed to play big and be able to step back, and people wanted to, play their game as well. So I sort of moved in ebbs and flows with that. And then eventually I got to a tribal council. I don't know if you watched it, Maddie, but Alex started to just be like, Kirby's the biggest player. And I was like, shut your mouth, Alex. You need to keep your lips tight. Like,
Keep
what
your
are you
hold.
doing? Yeah.
Shut your hole.
Shut Joel.
And I was just
That's what I'll
looking
say.
around going,
Shut Joel.
shut your I wish I could, but
Yeah.
no, yeah. So he just threw me under the table completely, and then from then they just wanted me gone. So I was relying on winning necklaces and staying on top of things. But I ended up getting to the 5th last tribal council, and Ferris was going to play his idol for me up until he had said, I'm not scared of Kirby. Like, I wouldn't flinch. And then he looked at the jury villa, and they all looked at each other like, he's nuts. Like, absolutely, you should be flinching. And then I think he backtracked. So, yeah,
so
I
he
message
would have
every
had
now
you,
and then.
yeah, wow.
Okay,
In
so
terms of-
worlds.
Yeah, in terms of worlds.
What can you tell us?
Yeah, what can you tell
Anything
us?
different about the game? I mean, it's Survivor, people from all over the world, right?
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
World Survivor. 7 Australians, 7 world players. And it was fast play. It was filmed. The entire game was 16 days, and
wow.
it was hectic. It
What?
was so much fun.
16 days?
Yeah, it was
2 weeks just. Not
Yeah.
even
That's
that.
amazing.
Yeah.
So Queen Kirby and King George, how did they go?
You have
We're
to
on
wait
the
and
same
see.
tribe. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you guys were big rivals, weren't you? No.
Well, no. So King George actually helped Ferris,
yes.
sort of mentored him prior to going out there. And I didn't know anyone when I went.
Yeah.
My sole goal was not to get voted off first. That was it.
Yeah.
That's all
Because the
I
black
did.
fellas always do. Like,
Like in movies when blackfellas die first.
if I ever go on a reality TV show, in my contract will be not the first step going home.
You're going to have to play. We'll have to go out there with Bloods v Water or something.
Yeah.
Oh, my life. I would love to, but I would also just be hilarious.
Wow.
Like, I feel like when I mean hilarious, like they'd be like, oh, this blackfella should know how to survive. And I'd be like, can I get a towel?
Yeah.
Can I get a blanket?
You're going to have to air dry.
That's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I really want to do it. I feel like
do it.
I will, like, take a bit of Kirby mentality into that game. I'll be like, okay,
Yes.
I'm here surviving. Literally, I've been surviving for 60,000 plus years.
The big spill at the end. I've been here for 60,000 plus years. They'll be like, oh, we heard this before.
Run through my
Go along.
veins. Run through my veins.
I
Sure,
think this
my
game
country,
is for
my
us.
trophy.
Yeah.
No.
My land.
My throne.
I want to do it. I feel like I will in my career. I feel like eventually, after Dancing with the Stars, maybe. No, just
Yes.
joking.
We're
After
built for
my
Survivor,
stars.
though. Blackfellas
Exactly.
are built for Survivor because
fucking
we are resilient. The things that
Yeah.
we deal with on a day-to-day basis, like,
Yeah.
we're built for it.
Yeah, and you would know. You fucking
Yeah.
copped it. Like, you I mean, I don't know to the full extent, but the fact that you're in Survivor, you went to Worlds, you one of the most elite AFLW players, you coached, you also have a business as well. What's your business called again?
It's called Jukian, meaning sisters. It's a hybrid generator dry hire. So
Oh,
obviously, we want to protect the land and the country. So we're going down that environmental hiring
see?
of generators.
My land, my country.
Yeah.
My girl.
My
It's like-
sustainability.
That's what I mean. And all of those, spaces, and you said you worked in mining. I know, because I actually lived with Kirby's sister, and it was her ex's house.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it was.
Well, I got shifted
Talk
out.
about
Yeah,
politics.
Kirby got kicked out. I was like, I'm in. But they used to do FIFO, and I used to live in the house by myself for 2 weeks, and then they'd come back, and then it was like, and then that's the thing. Like, our community is so small, and I forget about this. Like, I don't forget, to be fair. I never forget, but like, I remember these moments. Like, you took me in, but it wasn't even your house, and I didn't have a home, so like all these little things that you're doing in the background on top of all of these other things. But you are right, we are fucking resilient, and I think blackfellas were built for Survivor. Like, it should be our game, and I think more blackfellas need to do it. Like, I think it'd
I
be
agree.
so sick to see. Like, I feel like.
Wow.
Tangent, and I was like, imagine mob against mob, different tribes.
It should be all blacks versus the all stars.
That's good, yeah. But I will,
No, that
and I'll
sounds
be
like-
like, I'm here because Kirby was here.
It's basically what it was like in the 60s in Australia. Like,
Oh,
fuck that.
don't. You're a fucking
Segregation.
If
We
it
don't
was
want
mixed
that.
tribes, because I don't think I could
Yeah.
vote our mob off
No.
I know, that's the hardest
unless
thing.
they got wild at me for some reason.
All right.
Anyways, what are you up to now? Like, obviously, business as usual. Worlds will come out in where?
So I think season 10 will come out normal time. I think Feb slot, and then there's another show, and then I think it's ours. Nothing's been confirmed with it, but the world, to be able to go on a World Survivor, being the only black fella, I wore an Aboriginal flag jumper, like front and centre every tribal council.
Oh,
I was so proud to be representing our people
Yep.
in a tribe like that, and I love that they're Australian driven, but our country's so divided, and I am, to some extent, I am sort of proud to be Australian, but on the other side, I'm not, because
It's
we
hard,
just
isn't it?
are not inclusive.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to show our people, show the country, and show the world who we are, how smart we can be, and how fun we can be. I pulled the piss out of some of these people out here just for a laugh, for my own self.
Yes.
But just to be able to do that is powerful. But stepping away from that and the opportunities that I hope come from that and creating conversation is really important to me. Doing it when no one's looking, that's invaluable. And that's where it's powerful, because we don't need an audience. We just need people to buy in and listen respectfully.
Yeah.
And then want to follow that work as well.
Yeah.
Right? Want to want to make that change.
Yep.
But But it does suck that we have to get that buy-in. Like, it's like, oh, fuck's sake.
But
Like,
we know that, don't we?
We
Like,
do.
that's why we have these
we just keep
conversations.
going.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
we're on the
Totally.
tracks. We're still going.
Yeah.
Like, you're either on it or you're off. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that's how I kind of
Yeah,
see
you're
it.
jumping
Like,
in or you're not.
Yeah.
Because we'll leave you. Like, we'll
Did
keep
you buy
going.
your ticket? No,
Yeah.
I jumped this one anyways. Like, screw you.
Yeah.
But like,
Totally.
I think the same thing. Like, but I guess I feel the same way with representation. Like, even wearing the flag jumper was so powerful, and I wore the shirt in the first season of Bachelor.
Yeah.
But even I couldn't even like wear that flag shirt because we didn't even own the rights to the flag
Yeah, that's
until
right.
more recently, which is kind of fucked to think. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like our flag is going to be everywhere soon.
Yeah.
It's going to be on every fucking mainstream television show, and I can't wait.
But it starts like, and I remember seeing on The Bachelor, and it made me so proud. And what I love is that you present and you represent and you hold yourself so well. And I
Thanks,
need
sis.
my nieces and nephews to see what they can be because we don't see enough of that. We don't. It's all sport, and other than that, it's on the news. So,
Yeah.
and if it's not that, it's in social media, which is not reflected well. So
Yeah.
to see you and like our other women, like even a catch from her background, like I need my nieces and nephews to know who that woman is
She's
because she's a
amazing.
powerhouse.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's another reason why I sort of wanted to go on it, because I wanted to shift the narrative on a lot of things. But I work for GIRA, which is Aboriginal Women Domestic Violence and Child Protection.
Yep.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a really difficult space to be in, but 70 to 75% of the offenders are white men. But people
you
don't
go.
know that. They think it's just a cultural thing, and that's not culture.
That's fucked.
Yeah. So being able to have these conversations and to be able to put it on the table is invaluable, but it's just the willingness to hear it or to listen or to be
Totally.
engaged in the conversation.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see you on like the Worlds. I feel like
Yeah.
I also know that the conversations that you have on that show are going to be, great for the rest of the population to tune into. So, can't wait.
Yeah, it'd be
Cannot
good.
wait.
It'd be deadly.
It'd be
Hopefully,
so
hopefully
deadly.
I've done our people proud. Like
Always.
Yeah,
that's
it'd be
no
good.
doubt about
it'd be
that,
controversial
Kerbs.
because I am wearing the flag, and not every Australian's going to buy into that. And I'm there to play for Australia, but I'm the core of Australia as a black woman.
Exactly.
Love it.
Our
powerful.
matriarch. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you both.
Always such a pleasure.
It's deadly. I love these conversations.
Yes.
Same.
And
They
I
just
love
get me
when
real
black
pepped.
fellas get to laugh together. For
Yeah.
me, black joy is like so healing.
It
Yes, I
is.
agree.
Yeah.
In your company.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to go check it out, let us know. We'll put Jira, Kirby's business in the resource notes. And if you want us to cover anything on the pond, reach out via socials.
Brooke's handle is @Brooke.Blurton. Mine's is @It'sMaddieMills. And Kirby's is,
At Kirby Bentley.
hey, @Kirby Bentley. Thanks so much, Kirby, for being with us today.
Bye.